Smiling Mark Goldbridge, noting that he's even got headphones in. It must have been all the shouting that he was doing yesterday when Manchester United pulled off a great win at Anfield against Liverpool. We're going to get stuck into that. For me, a perfect weekend as an Arsenal fan. You get your game on the Saturday, 5:30, win that game, and then you just kick back and relax on a Sunday with a beer in your hand. First up, you see Tottenham lose, your biggest rivals, to Aston Villa, and then followed up by the hors d'oeuvres, right, of Manchester United against all odds going to Anfield, or was it against all odds, going to Anfield and beating them by 2-1. 4 defeats in a row now for Liverpool, 3 defeats in the Premier League in a row. Chelsea, Manchester United, and also Palace. Unheard of in recent times for Liverpool, especially losing at Anfield, and especially losing at Anfield to Manchester United. Mark, talk to us about the game, because I know you was heavily invested, doing your watch along. You must have been really buzzing yesterday.
Yeah, it's a game of 2 happy people this morning, isn't it? Because I would rather Arsenal win the league over Liverpool and Man City every day of the week. So, but obviously it's about Manchester United. This is a United side and manager that is under huge scrutiny. I think if he'd lost that game to Liverpool, we'd probably be having conversations about his tenure as manager, which is a bit unfair because it's such a big game, Liverpool. But I think we both predicted Liverpool wins on Friday, but I think we both said, I didn't expect it to be like 4-0 or 5-0 to Liverpool. I thought it would be close. And I thought because it was at Anfield, Liverpool would win it. And I think in the context of the game, it doesn't help Liverpool fans at all. But that could have been 2-1 to Liverpool. It could have been a draw. And it was 2-1 to Man United. And no one can complain about that because Liverpool get back in the game and then we go and win it. And Liverpool are vulnerable at the back. And we showed that you can score more than 1 goal against Liverpool. And that's a problem if you're trying to win a title. You look at what Arsenal do, even Man City. So Liverpool's big problem is their defence. They do create chances. They missed chances yesterday. But I never really felt like over the years, recent years, we've been to Anfield and you're really under pressure. And I never really felt like we were that much under pressure. Despite the chances, I felt we were in the game. And I think that's the change with Liverpool this season. You feel like you're in the game as the opposition and they don't put you away. And I thought Man United yesterday, I wasn't happy with Amorim's team selections and most of our fan base wasn't. And I mean, I don't want anyone to be a hypocrite. They weren't happy with it. And I would argue that in the future, I don't think Luke Shaw, Harry Maguire, Casemiro, Dalot at left wing back really is going to be the plan. And Amorim has fallen into this category of getting results. But he deserves huge praise because despite doing something most of us didn't want him to do, it did work. And I now want to see us go and beat Brighton and bring the likes of Lenny Yoro back in and Dorgu back in and Sesko back in and start to build what Arteta's built at Arsenal, a bit more of a vision. But to go to Liverpool and get a result, it's an amazing result for Manchester United. And we've got a real opportunity again to go and build on it. But where it leaves Liverpool is, I personally think, Robbie, that, you won't want to hear this, but it's hard to see them in a title race at the moment. I think Man City are probably the closest contender to Arsenal from what I've seen. They're the best team I've seen play Man United anyway. And Liverpool just look like they're not going to click. I keep waiting for them to click and they look like they're not going to click. Mo Salah's miles off it. Van Dijk's off it. The new players are taking time to settle in. And anybody who plays Liverpool, I don't know who they've got next, you'll get a chance.
Yeah, no, I mean, listen, I don't think they're out of the title race. I think they've still got definitely a shout with the firepower that they got. And I think those players are going to get better. They did miss a lot of chances. That one that Gakpo missed at the end, I mean, God, my days. But so did United. That chance that Bruno missed, that would have made it 2-0. And then that would have been literally out of sight. And I thought the United were excellent. We got to praise Amorim. I've come on here a lot of times and have been, tearing into him for his formation, team selection. He got it spot on. Maguire had a great game, scored the winner, of course, but was, defended well. I thought Cunha up front and then Buemo, they caused all ends of problems to that Liverpool defence. And like you said, Liverpool's defence are vulnerable at the moment. a lot of teams sense it. From the very first game of the season when they played Bournemouth, you were like, hold on, what's going on? Right? But you're thinking, all right, it's early. But Liverpool seem to have problems at the moment. You're not always going to just outscore everybody. It was the tactic that they tried to go for later on, didn't they? They threw on literally every attacker that they had, but it didn't quite work. And like you said, Mo Salah is so off. I mean, when have you ever heard Liverpool searching for a win and they take Mo Salah off? I think that just sums up how badly he is off form at the moment. But for Manchester United, is this a turning point, do you think? I mean, it's a huge win for Amorim. It's a statement win. Is this a turning point for him?
I think we're all waiting for Brighton, and we're all trying to get the players to think we're playing a top 4 team, because if we're playing a top 4 team next week, I think we're fine. This is classic United to. I think we will. You know, it's too early to say. I think we're going to beat Brighton, but we have to. You have to start turning the corner, and it's a home game against Brighton, and then away to Forest. And then away to Spurs. So I think if we can win 2 of the next 3. We're going to be right where we want to be going into the next international break, and hopefully confidence and momentum starts to build. If you can't take confidence from going to Anfield and winning, then we may as well pack up and go home. And I think that has, especially the way we won it, from going 1-1, you'd think Liverpool are going to go and lay siege to our goal, and then we go and win it. You have to take something from that. So hopefully it will be the start of something. But I want to ask you, Robbie, in fairness, because I did say after the game, I completely agree. We've all been victim of bad refereeing decisions. That's not our problem as United fans. We've won it 2-1. I don't understand what Michael Oliver was doing on that McAllister head injury. He should have stopped. He should have stopped the game. And I feel Liverpool fans are right to moan about it, because I know we've both moaned about the PGMOL. But everybody's getting these decisions, and we played to the whistle and we scored. But I'm not going to sit here and say didn't stop the game, because I think he probably should have done, to be fair.
The only thing I'd say with that one is, did he see it? It's happened quickly, isn't it? They've gone up, they've come together. The player's gone down, right? It's like 3 players involved in it, aren't it? I've literally Van Dijk, who took out his own player, right? I think that's the thing on this one. Did he actually see, he's seen the clash, right? And it's not obvious at that time. It's not like heads clashing each other. I think it's Van Dijk's elbow gets him. Then play continues on really quickly. If he sees it, yes, he has to stop it. If he's aware of it, yes, he has to stop it. But if he hasn't seen it, it's not one of these that you can go back and say, right, VAR, look at it and stuff like, you should have stopped play. It's like a protocol thing that you'd normally stop play if someone gets a head injury. But my only thing I would say is, did he actually see it? I've not actually sort of watched back to analyze how much of it he saw. Did he see the player on the ground? Because it all moved very quickly. Even in watching the game on TV, it wasn't kind of until after the goal scored now that everybody's, we're kind of looking back on that. You know what I mean? It happened very quickly. So that'd be the one thing I'd say.
As a United fan, I saw it straight away. And you know what you're like when you score a goal, you're always looking for a reason. And I was like, there's a man gone down and he's clutching his head. And I was like, I think the referee's got to see that. I think that's your job. But
I'll give you another thing, Mark, right, as well, right? In our game, right, a Fulham player went down holding his head.
I saw it, yeah.
After we're through on goal, right? And the referee stopped it, right? He hadn't been touched on his head.
His face, wasn't it, yeah?
He hadn't been touched. And this is the other thing is, right, which is for referees now, some of these players are faking head injuries, which is disgraceful, because they brought in this for a specific and a very, very good reason, that when players get a head injury,